And there we go. It's magic. So I have with me Andrew Boone, who is the senior manager of sales on the CCaas side. I am the director of marketing on the CCaas side, and we're gonna be tag teaming this going forward. Now, normally Andrew would go ahead and do this whole spiel, but because we have a shortened amount of time today, I thought I would take the lead only because my friend Andrew is super verbose, and you'd be sitting down there listening to him for the next 3 or 4 hours if we let him loose. So let me just try to manage the time a little better. So Andrew, welcome to the webinar. Go ahead, unmute yourself. Let's try to keep the heavy breathing to a minimum. Make sure the dog's not fighting in the background. Let's jump into it.
Thanks, Joe.
So we
Talk
thought
fast.
yeah, super fast. We thought we would start with what is CCaas? You saw Aaron give a beautiful demo of Contact Center Express. It looks great. It's very the interface is beautiful, very functional, very powerful, very simple. All the things that you need, all the things that an agent would need in terms of functionality, and and be able to start using it very quickly. Very low learning curve, short learning curve. But what is this? What is this contact center as a service stuff? What the hell are we talking about here, right? Um, so, in a nutshell, this is what companies use to interact with their customers. This is what companies use to create exceptional customer experiences. So, if there's nothing else that you remember from this entire little training session that we go through here, just remember this product solves a problem that every company has. It solves the problem of creating positive customer experiences. We've all, we're all customers. We're all consumers. We've all had good experiences. We've all had bad experiences, and we're living in the age of social media, where it's extremely easy for any one of us to go online and say, "This food didn't taste good. This car wash broke my rear view windshield wiper off." All these different things we could go online and see. And by the way, these are things that I've personally done. This is something that we have to be aware that companies go through. And in some cases, these bad reviews are a deterrent. And I'm going to get into that very briefly as we go forward. So, in a nutshell, CCaas is the solution, is the product that companies can use to solve these problems. In the past, folks looked at the call centers as, oh, it's just a bunch of people in a room. They're just doing telemarketing, or they're just doing telesales, or just doing help desk. They're doing all those things, yes, but the companies that really know how to offer a superior customer experience have figured out how to leverage the contact center as the star of the show, basically. Not only in terms of what those agents are able to do day to day, but in terms of the data and all the business intelligence they're able to derive from that system. So again, if you walk away with nothing else, CCaas is what helps companies offer an exceptional customer experience. So, but why is customer experience so important? I kind of touched on that before. These folks don't want people complaining about them. Companies are basically using the whole positive customer experience and the superior customer experience thing as a differentiator these days, because that's one of the few remaining things they have left. Everybody's selling the same things. You can buy any given thing in 10, 12 different shops, within a 5 mile radius of where you are at any point in time. So it all boils down to the experience you have, how easy it is to do business with that company. Um, did you have a good time doing so? If you had any issues, were they easy to report and resolve, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We talked about how everything is public now, thanks to social media. Won't go into that again. But don't take my word for it. There's some stats we were able to pull from very recognized global research and analysis firms and so forth, analyst firms. And here's a few of them. Increasing customer retention rates by 5% increases profits by up to 95%. That came from Bain and Company, they're a global research firm. And I had to put the source there because you may find that the statement is unbelievable and outlandish, but it's true. Increasing customer retention rates by 5% increases profits by up to 95%. So what that means is there's a strong correlation between customer experience and the profitability of a company.
I mean,
Another one
if
is,
Bain and Company says it must be true.
yeah, there you go, right?
That's the guy from Batman, right?
That's the guy from Batman, Bane. You
Yeah,
got it.
just checking. Okay.
Um, and Adam, who's behind the controls here, does a fantastic Bane impression, but I wouldn't put him on the spot here. Acquiring a new customer is up to 25 times more expensive than retaining an existing one. That's another powerful stat, and that came from Harvard, right? Just to run through these, some consumers point to customer experience as the key factor in a purchasing decision. 73% say that, and that's true. How many of you have how many of you prefer to shop at a certain place as opposed to another just because of the positive customer experience you have in there? Maybe you're at a hardware store. Maybe if you're anything like me and you go into Home Depot, you don't know where to start. You don't know what aisle to go through. You don't know where to find anything. You go to Lowe's and you go in there and you're just as clueless and you say, "Hey, I'm looking for a different colored paint to paint my kitchen or whatever." They're gonna help you find what you're looking for, right? And I'm willing to pay a premium for that. So I tried to get a picture of Andrew because Andrew always has this kind of disgusted look on his face. But I thought this guy had better hair. But this guy here is intended to portray what this Gartner statement is saying. 82% of customers stop doing business with a company after a bad experience. I definitely fall into that bracket myself, especially if I go to a restaurant. I'm not going to say, "Hey, this food doesn't taste very good. Could you take this back?" Because I don't want to get another fresh plate with a whole bunch of spit in it, right? So I prefer to just, okay, I'm good. I'm good here. I'll pay for it, and I'm going to leave. And I'm probably going to go online and talk about it, right? Send a picture of the food, say this was horrible. How can you call this a good plate of chicken Alfredo, for example? And that's going to affect them if enough people read my review. So what do we have to solve all these problems? We have Express, which is what you just saw from Aaron. We also have Contact Center Pro and Contact Center Elite. I'm not going to go through the individual features and the positioning strategies for each of these yet. This is what you're going to go through in other sessions. We don't have a lot of time today. But just know that we have positioning tactics for each of these and lots of them. We're going to be in a position to help you know exactly what to position in front of somebody based on whatever scenario they have for you. And what I have highlighted there in red, you will soon learn about these features. For now, the focus is on prospecting and pitching. That's also true. We don't expect you to know what customizable IVRs and skill-based routing and all these different things are right now. If you do, fantastic. If you don't, you'll get there. We'll help you get there. But we do have these three packages that are available for any given scenario that you come up against. Quick note on differentiators. It's a carrier grade solution. For those of you who aren't aware of what carrier grade means, this is mission critical, almost military grade level type stuff. 5.9 uptime. It's not going to go down. This is part of the all-in-one business cloud from Intermedia, which also includes things like Unite, any meeting, security sync. It's a formidable depth of services in a single portfolio. Express can be purchased as a standalone. Sorry, Pro and Elite packages can be purchased as a standalone. Express, of course, is fully integrated with UC. We're going to be integrating Pro and Elite into Unite UC as well. But for now, only Contact Center Express is fully integrated for that seamless experience, single pane of glass, like Andrew likes to say. And we're going to get there with Pro and Elite I would say by later on by Q3 latest. Cost certainty and flexibility. This is something that you're not going to get from a lot of the competitors. You go out there and you get a quote and you think, "Hey, man, that looks fantastic. Hey, Intermedia, that's cheaper than you guys. I'm going to go with these people." Okay, no problem. Go ahead. And in the first month, you get your bill and you get sticker shock because they're charging for ads, moves, changes. They're charging for all sorts of stuff that we are not charging for. So it's good to understand and compare apples to apples when you're dealing with competitive quotes. And then finally, this is built by folks who have been living and breathing in the contact center space and telecom space and SaaS space for decades. Common pain points we solve. I'm not going to get into this much right now because I have a scenario in the last few slides that's going to help pull all this together. Who needs and uses contact center? In a nutshell, everybody. If you are a company that has customers that deal with you, that interact with you, and you interact with them, you need it. And it's not just limited to companies. If you're a hospital that has patients, you need this. If you are a bank that has customers, you need this. If you're a university that has students, you need this. If you're like civil services type agency, and you have citizens that are dealing with you for various things, you need this. You see the pattern here. Any type of a customer type engagement that's involved will need this solution. So here's where we start to get down to the meat and potatoes here. How do you identify your CCaas prospects? So you look at your customers and you ask yourself, who are my current contacts here? Are any of these people directly responsible for customer service? The reason why you want to hone in on your customer service people is because those are the ones who are being kept up at night worrying about those bad reviews that Joe Hurley and Andrew Boone are leaving on their web pages, right? These are the people that need to get, they can't remove them because that's not how Google reviews and Yelp and all those things work. They have to figure out, okay, so this is up here. I can't change that, but I'm gonna have to figure out how to change my customer experience to the point where I have 10 more people put on positive reviews on there so that they can't see Joe and Andrew's bad reviews. And we're not just talking about Google reviews and stuff here. There's companies that measure customer experience with NPS scores. With Andrew, what's a couple of other things that they use?
Customer satisfaction scores, right? Net promoter
That
scores you talk
scores,
about.
yeah.
And those reviews, I mean, obviously flooding them with positive reviews is one way to get rid of them. Another way to offset those reviews is address them immediately in the review. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for posting this, Mr. Customer. Let's have a private conversation and we'll solve this. And sometimes and we're all consumers here, right? Just seeing that the company's taken the time to address the issue that was posted in a review gives me confidence that it's an org I want to deal with. And that's
Exactly.
how omni-channel works, right?
So yeah, exactly. So you basically want to look through your existing contacts, your existing prospects, and figure out, okay, well, who do I know on the customer service side, and if not, who do you know that can introduce you to that person? You may deal with the IT folks more. It's so they can facilitate an intro to you the same way, no problem. Um, and then when you get to that person, then you can ask them the other questions like, do you place high value on the phone call? What does customer success mean to you? And what type of solution do you have right now? And like I said, I have a nice little scenario in here that's gonna help walk through some of this and bring it all together. Getting to the business user again, kind of related to the previous slide where I was talking about figuring out who the customer service person is, because that's the person that's staying up at night worrying about this stuff. Again, we will go through this deeper next week and in the coming weeks. But this slide here is just to convey the message of getting to the business user will shorten the sales cycle, because this is very much the ultimate decision maker. And there are other decision makers involved in the process. In some companies, the IT person, of course, will be influential, or may be the decision maker himself. Depending on the size of the company, could be the owner slash CEO, and there's different dynamics in each size company. But in all cases, you want to hone in and zero in on the person who cares about the customer experience in that company. And again, we have a nice little scenario here to walk through. So the CCaas prospecting formula. This is it in a nutshell. You're going to see it live in action in the next few slides. You start off by talking about, okay, so you want to establish that you know who that person is. So I am talking to XYZ who works at this company, and you want to demonstrate that I know enough about your operations for you to listen to me as a credible source. Um, you want to demonstrate that, okay, well, I know what you're responsible for. You are the customer service head at so and so bank, and I know what a day in your life looks like. This is who I am. I am the contact center specialist at XYZ, and I know the types of problems that you're going through, and I can help you with. Then you start talking about, here's some of the people that I've helped with this. This is where you name drop relevant and similar entities to the person you're speaking to, and then you just finish off with, this is how we did it, and these are the results. So to walk you through that, I'm going to pass over this here. I'm going to pass over all this stuff here because we're going to zone in on this very nicely. Um, the example I wanted to go through here was with Sacramento Credit Union, right? Um, Sorry, I'm just getting a call on the side here. I'm going to close that off. Okay, so Sacramento Credit Union. This is some services that they have that they offer, and we can see they offer mobile banking. They got telephone banking here, online banking. So right off the bat, we know that this customer, this bank has some business channels that would definitely need a contact center to manage. We would also want to make sure that these folks have the requisite infrastructure and processes and systems in place to ensure that all these different channels that people are trying to contact them on, they can handle them, right? So what we have here, we just extracted some relevant things here. So we have a email form here, a contact us thing. Andrew, what does this tell us?
Well, I mean, if there's a contact us form, it means that they could probably make use of an email queue, right? Make sure that interaction from an email gets delivered to the right agent who's logged in with the right skills, et cetera. So low-hanging fruit there is just setting up an email queue. And I'm also noticing the absence of a chat option on this customer's website as well. So
That's
another
right.
potential omni-channel sort of
And you can have
opportunity.
a nice little chatbot showing up in the bottom right-hand corner. So that's a good point. Um, on this page here, why did we want to share this? Because we realized that there's the same phone number. So first of all, it's a multi-branch bank.
Yeah, look at
You
all
know,
those locations for
look at
sure.
all these locations, and then look, we realize that it's the same phone number for all the locations. What does that tell us, Andrew?
I mean, there's a central number, which means there's probably a call center, right? That's a central location. Or maybe there's an IVR, auto attendant at the top that's saying, hey, if you want to speak to the 14th Street branch, press 1. Either way, they've centralized their telephony. That's what that says to me. And that's an opportunity for anyone on this call.
That's right. So we also realize that they have a Facebook page.
Oh,
They're talking about they're doing campaigns, guns and hoses thing here. Okay, that's cool. We got that contact number here. Notice that's the same number that was on all the other branches. That 6070 number is the same number as these guys here. So that's on Facebook. It's dialable from there as well. What does
I
this
mean,
tell us, Andrew?
I mean, outside of the guns and hoses reference, which I didn't notice before, I think that people can neglect Facebook sometimes, and it's a disparate channel. And so usually, what we see with organizations is there's a guy or a girl or someone who's dedicated to managing the Facebook feed. And if someone posts something negative, positive, otherwise, they address it. We can't interact directly with Facebook, but we can certainly queue up these notifications, these posts, these alerts into an email queue. Call it the Facebook queue if you want. And that way, anything that happens on Facebook can be immediately presented to the right agent so that it gets addressed and dealt with in line. So that was one thing I come up with from there. Very busy Facebook page though, from a guns and hoses
Yeah, it's a
perspective.
little busy. Yeah, we're just giving you the different things to use to prospect, right? This is like training you to become a private investigator almost, because you're going through all these different channels, and the whole idea is to just you're trying to build up intel. You're trying to build up as much intelligence as possible, so that when you do have that conversation, you are armed with so many things. You can take the conversation in so many different directions, right? So here's where we start. We talked about getting to the business user. We can get into some more of that next week. But this is you check out their About Us page. And you look at the management team here, and you probably ask, okay, it's a good question. Who would you contact here? Would you contact Mr. Mackin, the president and CEO? He probably wouldn't take your call. Would you contact Mrs. Kaiser, the CFO? Probably not. She has more pressing matters to handle. She has a lot of beans to count, right? Alisa Hickey, VP HR, probably not the right person for this. Megan Caldwell, VP Retail Sales and Services. Now that we're getting close now, because this
Maybe.
is, but still, Brian Cotton, VP Digital Banking and Contact Center. Now hold on a minute. There's the guy we have to talk to. So we got to figure out how to get to Brian, right? And talk about things like this. You remember we were talking about the bad reviews and stuff? So we pulled up Sacramento Credit Union on Yelp. Look at this, a couple of things that they're saying about them. The first review there, I was ready to switch, but got some attitude. Also, not really helpful. Later, I looked at the reviews. Super low ratings. Well, some bad English there, but I will try another credit union. So right off the bat, this person here, I mean, they were looking for another option. They were thinking about Sacramento Credit Union. They read the reviews and they were deterred. This is the risk of the bad reviews. It's a deterrent out there. Next one, they're talking about, when someone starts off a review saying, I have never encountered worse customer service in my life, that's
It's an
not a good sign.
opportunity. No, but it's
Yeah,
an opportunity. We
it's an
can help.
opportunity, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the other one, they start off by saying, I want to thank your call center for helping me make the decision to cancel my accounts with you, right? Somebody's commenting on my accent. Thank you so much. I'm from Trinidad, by the way. This comes up all the time. So
You're not Welsh. You're not Welsh,
I'm
right? You're
not, no,
definitely from
not Welsh,
Trinidad.
not from
Okay.
Wales. So what we've done here is we have walked through a whole, like almost a live scenario of how to get intel and arm yourself with a whole bunch of knowledge. And this is what it boils down to: finding the right person to talk to. Um, we're gonna end
Yeah.
this up very nicely. So I'm not, we're gonna pass all this stuff, right? And we're gonna go right to this last page here where it goes to putting it all together. So you've been listening to this guy with a strange accent talk for the last half an hour. But this is what we're trying to get to. We pulled together all the intel. We figured out how to prospect. Now it's time to pitch. And what are you going to say? Well, first of all, you start off by identifying the right person, and we know that's Brian Cotton. You've gotten his phone. You got his phone number from somebody, right? And now you're on the phone with him. Hey, I understand you are responsible for member digital services and member experience. Is that right? Yeah. And then you walk through your reasons for my call. I want to let you know we've worked with. It's good to name drop. You guys know how important that is. Name drop stuff, right? We've worked with other credit unions and small banks, just like you. And you just name drop some Jersey Shore FC. Jersey Shore FC was a real thing. You guys might be
Snook,
laughing at that, but it's a
Snooky
real.
works there. She's only part
Snooky
time, but
works
she
there.
works there on
It's
Saturdays.
a,
Yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting situation, right? See what I did there?
Who's Snooky? It's an interesting situation. Well played. I'm giving you the golf clap.
I appreciate that. So yeah, you name drop companies that would resonate with them. If you're talking to a restaurant, name drop other restaurants. You're talking to an insurance company, name drop other ones like that. See, we even threw in something here, Andrew. You didn't see the Guns N' Roses thing, but we threw that in. Hey, how did the Guns N' Roses charity event work out for you?
Yeah, I'm already
You
laughing.
know?
This is the greatest
You
script ever
see that
written.
on Facebook. You got that from there. He's going to be wondering, hey, how the hell did you know about that?
It was great. Were you there? No, sorry, couldn't
Yeah,
make it. I was
you
at the
could
Guns N' Roses
lie.
concert.
Yeah, man, I was there. I had a great time.
Definitely.
um, but you see, every little sentence in here is leveraging your intel that you built up. Someone's making a point about LinkedIn. Absolutely,
Absolutely.
you look up your LinkedIn too. So
Mhm.
they may be posting different things. In fact, you may have found, if you did not get through to Brian Cotton, one thing you could have done was to go and look on LinkedIn for anybody with a customer service or or an agent type title for Sacramento Credit Union. So I'm glad you guys brought that up because it shows that you know exactly what we're talking about here, right? Anything that you could use online, any public info you could use to build up your intel is golden. Um, and yeah, and that's, as you can see from the flow of this thing here, where we've recorded this, we could make this available to you as well. All of our training material is also intended to serve as a reference deck, so you don't have to worry about memorizing everything we've said or remembering everything that we talked about here today. These scripts are available to you. These tactics are available. We have a hell of a lot more. We only had to condense this in a half an hour time frame, but we have a lot more to go through. I hope this has been useful. It's now at the top of the hour. Um, some people are asking about white label marketing, but we have white label marketing materials. Do we have time to take a few questions? Adam, you want to pull up any questions that we have?
Well, that was definitely one of them. The marketing materials, which
Marketing materials, and that's a
talk to
big
your
yes.
rep,
Absolutely.
and yeah, they'll coordinate getting them
Talk to
made
your
available
rep.
for you.
They will get to us, and we will make sure you have what you need, whether it's sell sheets. Um, yeah, Adam, you want to pull up any questions that we have? So yeah, so I was talking about the collateral that we have available to you guys. So we have sell sheets, we have white papers, we have success cases, we have battle cards, we have pitch decks. We and then if you need things like to do different types of campaigns, we can provide you with help for scripts. Yes, we will be sending out the presentation, absolutely. Um, yeah,
Well,
so I mean,
here's a
anything that you
couple.
need. There we go. Can we monitor whisper barge on outbound calls from an agent, Andrew?
Pro and Elite, yes.
Can
Pro
reports
and
be out?
Pro and
Okay,
Elite,
pro elite again.
yes.
Pro
John
elite,
Barry, you
yeah.
know this answer. Stop torturing me, John Barry. I know you know these answers. Can you pull a report to show which calls are abandoned? Yes, in Pro and Elite. Express, can we see abandoned calls by detail? Aaron? Kim?
Is Aaron still with us? Maybe not.
Pro and Elite have Slack integration for threshold alerts. So an unattended queue, a long wait time could be fed into a Slack feed. Is the reporting available for outbound calls? Yes, with Pro and Elite, again, with full recording classifications. Can the wallboard tiles be customized? No, but in Pro and Elite, threshold alerts can be customized. So they change color based on your, your metrics, your needs, your thresholds. Basic contact center comes with essentials. I wasn't quite sure what that meant. I don't know if there's anyone else on the call.
Is Essentials a Unite product? It might be, yeah. It might be.
I'm gonna.
Essentials. The
No, I'm not familiar with Essentials.
You're not sure what it is either. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure.
No.
Maybe Herb, you could qualify, and then we can go there. I also wasn't sure what HGs, and I don't know what an HG for $4.99. Oh, I see. So how does?
Yeah.
So I mean, we haven't really talked about the express pricing, have we, Kim? I mean, it's different for everybody, right? But it does compare. I think there's an elevation in price, but it's comparable from the value you get from an express or Pro and Elite versus what you get from a Hunt Group. I think that's the only way I'm answering that question. Branding material for email and web, we're good. Absolutely, we're going to provide that. Option to log in to a queue from a phone, and if not, is that something coming in the future? So does that mean, is that with an express login, you can log in directly from a phone with a star key, right, Kim?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
So with Express, you can log in with a star key, so star 777, whatever it is, right from your hard line, from your physical phone versus the soft phone. Is that accurate?
Right, that's correct, yeah.
And with the Pro and Elite product today, because it's not embedded with any phone, it's phone agnostic, there is no way to log in directly from a phone. It requires the software. Yes, we are HIPAA compliant.
We are HIPAA compliant, yes.
Storage and access. We can't do anything about somebody downloading a file and sharing it. But yeah, storage and access is encrypted and HIPAA compliant. We provide quarterly AOCs at attestations of compliance if anybody needs them. And that was it. Excellent. That was easy.
Is that it for
there was one that came in through chat about how long can recorded calls be stored. So for Express, recorded calls are stored without being deleted for forever, basically. And I know, Boone, I'll let you handle the Pro and Elite one.
Yeah, I mean, Pro and Elite standard 30 days, but it can also be in perpetuity. And we allow the client to bring their own cloud storage if they want to manage and keep their own encrypted files. So if a client brings their own Azure Blob or Amazon Bucket, we can point our application to it so they can manage their own recording. So we actually give some options there for long-term retention. Karen's asking if we have to be Unite certified as well as contact center certified. I think the answer to that is yes. I mean, we should all be Unite certified and contact center certified.
Yes, exactly. All right, well, we have actually gone over a bit. So I think at this point, we'll go ahead and close the Q&A session. Want to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy day. I found this extremely valuable. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Aaron, for your presentations. And, tune back in next week for the next version of Joe and how to sell contact center. All right, everybody have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, folks.